Brahmanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shri Radhe. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Shila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We continue reading from the Bhagavad Gita, and we read from chapter 2, verse 1. Thank you for writing it on the board. And the chapter's title is Contents of the Gita Summarized. Wollen wir einen Übersetzer haben? Ja, genau. Macht ihr abends mit Vor- und Nachsprechen? Ja, okay. Then I hold it more short. Mal, okay. Okay. I read and you repeat. Sanjay Uvacha Tang Tata Kripaya Vishtam Ashru Purna Kulekshanam Vishidantam Idang Vakyam Uvacha Madhusudana Sanjaya Uvacha Tang Tata Kripaya Vishtam Ashru Purna Kulekshanam Vishidantam Idang Vakyam Uvacha Madhusudana. Who wants to repeat? Okay. Sanjaya Uvacha Tang Tata Kripaya Vishtam Ashru Purna Kulekshanam Vishidantam Idang Vakyam Uvacha Madhusudana. Ladies, one lady. Sanjaya Uvacha Tang Tata Kripaya Vishtam Ashru Purna Kulekshanam Vishidantam Idang Vakyam Uvacha Madhusudana. Sanjaya Uvacha. Sanjaya said, Tam unto Arjuna, Tata, thus, Kripaya, by compassion, Avishtam, overwhelmed, Ashru Purnakula, full of tears, Ikshanam, eyes, Vishidantam, lamenting, Idam, these, Vakyam, words, Uvacha, said, Madhusudana, the killer of Madhu. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, H.E. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Sanjaya said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana, Krishna, spoke the following words. Purport. Material compassion, lamentation, and tears are all signs of ignorance of the real self. Compassion for the eternal soul is self-realization. The word Madhusudana is significant in this verse. Lord Krishna killed the demon Madhu, and now Arjuna wanted Krishna to kill the demon of misunderstanding that had overtaken him in the discharge of his duty. No one knows where compassion should be applied. Compassion for the dress of a drowning man is senseless. A man fallen in the ocean of nescience cannot be saved simply by rescuing his outward dress, the gross material body. One who does not know this and laments for the outward dress is called a Shudra, or one who laments unnecessarily. Arjuna was a Kshatriya, and this conduct was not expected from him. Lord Krishna, however, can dissipate the lamentation of the ignorant man, and for this purpose the Bhagavad Gita was sung by him. This chapter instructs us in self-realization by an analytical study of the material body and the spirit soul, as explained by the Supreme Authority, Lord Sri Krishna. This realization is possible when one works without attachment to fruitive results and is situated in the fixed conception of the real self. Om Agyana Timirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manopishtam Stapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanshana Gorangi Radhe Rindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanshakalpatarupyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evascha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I repeat the verse. Sanjay said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana, Krishna, spoke the following words. Yeah, so, please bless me that something beneficial may come out of my mouth. Yeah, this is the beginning of a very elaborate chapter, chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita, the contents of the Gita summarized. And it's a very beautiful chapter because it gives all kinds of explanations what the soul really is, what the body is, what the goal of life is, how to realize one's true identity. And before this lecture, I tried to find a little bit about this demon of Madhu, because I cannot remember the story of him, but it's a pity I couldn't find it in the Krishna book, and on the Veda base there was just an evening conversation with Srila Prabhupada about this Madhu demon, that he was a son of Brahma and he wanted to swallow Brahma with his evil brother. That's all. Yeah, I thought I could get something out of this, but this was everything. Yeah, and yeah, all in all, the purport is telling us this, that this lamentation or this so-called material suffering is only due to our unknowingness, like we had also in the lecture this morning from Govindadev Prabhu, yeah, avidya, not knowingness, which keeps us on the platform of a Shudra, yeah, the lowest, not the lowest, also Chandalas and others who might even lower, but in a position of someone who has forgotten his original identity of a spiritual soul, a part of Krishna, which is ever existing, which cannot be slain, yeah, which is eternal, full of bliss, but this we have forgotten mostly. And the process, also that Bhagavad Gita is teaching us, is to remember, regain spiritual knowledge, because by this knowledge, apichet asipapibhya sarvebhya papakrit tamaha sarvam jnana plaveneva vrejinam santarishyasi. Yeah, then even the most sinful of all sinners, when he's situated in the boat of transcendental knowledge, he can cross over the ocean of material existence. That's interesting, because just recently I read that there's this allegory of the boat and the shipman, yeah, and that the boat in the allegory I just heard was the boat something else, and here the Gita says in this verse, it's also in the second chapter, around 40, that the boat is transcendental knowledge, yeah. Yeah, so it gets clear that we need knowledge. Yeah, so even when we might have a secure position or we have good association, what really is important is also knowledge about our true identity, about the soul, about Krishna, And that's why it is also stressed that we repeatedly have this Krishna Katha, that we discuss these topics, that we give light to certain points where we might have some misunderstanding or some doubting, because this will free us of many demons, like the Madhu demon, of doubting, of misunderstanding. Yeah, that's the demon of misunderstanding, the Madhu demon. And there are many, many different obstacles and demons. And Krishna, because Krishna is the sun, everywhere where Krishna is, there is no darkness. He has the capacity to eliminate, erase all that dark points in our hearts, in our minds, which come through the countless association with this material nature, which we have since innumerable birth and deaths. Yeah. So let us be intelligent men and women. And because it said that Bahunam Janmanam Ante Gyanavan Mam Prapatyate Vasudeva Sarvam Iti Samahatma Sudurlabaha. Yes, after many, many birth and death, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes, and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. Yeah? So from our own realization, we can all say it's not pony riding, that's a German joke, or candy sugar, can be hard sometimes, and it's definitely a process where we have to pray, where we have to seek shelter, where we have to stay in association, where we have to, even when it's uncomfortable, where we have to stay, even when we have so many true or false calamities going on in our minds, and our mind tells us, no, you have to leave. Yeah. If we continue on this path and we allow Krishna to give light to our illusions, misunderstandings, ego trips, then ultimately we will come to the conclusion that Krishna is so nice, and that we are parts of him, and that we simply by rendering service to him, we also become happy. And in this connection, I wanted to read also something, because this verse is also an invitation for to talk about preaching, and because I find that if the conclusion is that we need spiritual knowledge, then what is the task for us as a devotee? And I have a very nice book which is called "Preaching is the Essence" from Srila Prabhupada, and it's his finger like this, and it's a powerful book. It's really nice in so many manners, but I wanted to read something from the chapter "Preaching Krishna Consciousness is the highest welfare activity." Yeah, because this verse also described this, if we render service to the body of one person, this is like if you want to save the dress of a drowning man. Yeah, what kind of use is that? But real welfare activity is to help the spirit soul to come out of the drowning ocean. Preaching Krishna consciousness is the highest welfare activity. The Lord is pleased with one who preaches. It is said that great personalities almost always accept voluntary suffering because of the suffering of people in general. This is considered the highest method of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is present in everyone's heart. Here is an explanation of how those engaged in activities for the welfare of others are very quickly recognized by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, very important and popular verse, 1868-69, Ya idang paramangu yang mat bhaktes vabidasyati nachatas man manushya shu kaschin me priya kritamaha. One who preaches the message of Bhagavad Gita to my devotees is most dear to me. No one can excel him in satisfying me by worship. There are different kinds of welfare activities in this material world, but the supreme welfare activity is the spreading of Krishna consciousness. Other welfare activities cannot be effective, for the laws of nature and the results of karma cannot be checked. If one tries to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world, he should be understood to be performing the best welfare activity. The Lord is automatically very pleased with him. If the Lord is pleased with him, what is left for him to achieve? If one has been recognized by the Lord, even if he does not ask the Lord for anything, the Lord, who is within everyone, supplies him whatever he wants. The best welfare activity is raising people to the platform of Krishna consciousness, since the conditioned souls are suffering only for want of Krishna consciousness. All the Shastras conclude, therefore, that spreading the Krishna consciousness movement is the best welfare activity in the world. Because of the ultimate benefit this bestows upon people in general, the Lord very quickly recognizes such service performed by a devotee. That's from the Bhagavatam, 8th canto, 7th chapter, verse 44. And now I want to read another one. That's the distribution of transcendental knowledge is the highest welfare work. Prithu Maharaj continued, how can such persons who have rendered unlimited service by explaining the path of self-realization in relation to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and whose explanations are given for our enlightenment with complete conviction and Vedic evidence, be repaid except by folded palms containing water for their satisfaction? Such great personalities can be satisfied only by their own activities, which are distributed amongst human society out of their unlimited mercy. Great personalities of the material world are very eager to render welfare service to human society, but actually no one can render better service than one who distributes the knowledge of spiritual realization in relation with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All living entities are within the clutches of the illusory energy. Forgetting their real identity, they hover in material existence, transmigrating from one body to another in search of a peaceful life. Since these living entities have very little knowledge of self-realization, they are not getting any relief, although they are very anxious to attain peace of mind and some substantial happiness. Saintly persons like the Kumaras, Narada, Prahlad, Janaka, Shukadeva Goswami, Kapila Dev, as well as the followers of such authorities as the Vaishnava Acharyas and their servants, can render a valuable service to humanity by disseminating knowledge of the relationship between the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the living entity. Such knowledge is the perfect benediction for humanity. That's very powerful. And yeah, we were also just talking with Ananda Krishna Prabhu downstairs. We are just about to reorganize our Sankirtan to make it more efficient and more regulated and everything. And we had a beautiful talk with him. And he shared some insight from his own life and also from his own book distribution and preaching. And he said that everything that he has now, he has everything desirable. Yeah, he has a beautiful wife who is also a Vaishnava. He has a great son. Yeah, he's preaching all day about Krishna consciousness. He had this wonderful apartment in Mayapur. And this is all just because in some period in his life, he dedicated his life to please Krishna and to really make an endeavor. Yeah? And he quoted this verse, Yata mam prapatyante tangsteta iva bhajamimaham mama vartmanu vartante manushya partha sarvashaham. Yeah? As one surrenders unto me, I reward them accordingly. How is it to be continued? No, Sanjay? Yes, perfect, thank you. Everyone follows my path in all respects. So, more or less, we are all on the same track back to Krishna, but our devotion, our intensity of eagerness, also Rupa Goswami says, laulyam. The only real thing that is needed is laulyam. What is this? Greed, that we really want it. And he was also describing how he was able to distribute 180 books a day, And if you once went out on book distribution, this seems ridiculously like, how can you manage to do this? And he said it's just this laulyam, this greed, this understanding that is the highest welfare work. I also just read in the Bhagavatam that we ultimately can only get really happy and satisfied that when we are working for the welfare of all living entities. And Srila Prabhupada is so wonderfully describing this from the Chaitanya Charitamrita and the Bhagavatam, that this welfare activity is when we give the people Krishna. And this is called the Sankirtan movement, trying to give Krishna others in the form of the holy name, in Krishna Prasadam, but also in the books. So, and this is the history also of our Vaishnava Acharyas. Because in former times the books couldn't be distributed so profusely because they written everything down on palm leaves, and this was very, it was a great endeavor, but due to modern civilization we are able to print these books in high quantity with not so much money. So this was a great improvement, and one Acharya, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Goswami Maharaj, he used this development to print these books in a huge capacity. And the knowledge was always being distributed, but became more hard due to the improvement of the Kali Yuga. And the people were more forgetful, but these books are a great authority. And I want to read you a little bit about of that. Book distribution is the basis of all preaching. Book distribution is the best preaching because it allows Prabhupada to preach. A book is substantial. Buying books is devotional service. It rewards the buyer with true spiritual progress. Apart from that, the books are very beautiful and impressive. More and more people will appreciate ISKCON's translating and printing such wonderful classics. By book distribution, many people can be reached who by themselves would never endeavor to know Krishna. There will be sincere souls among them who begin devotional service. Thus, book distribution acts like a very powerful magnet to attract new devotees in this iron age. Book distribution is the basis of all preaching because it plants the seeds of Krishna consciousness, and then it waters the seeds. The more books are distributed, the more an auspicious atmosphere is created. Book distribution cultivates receptive audiences for all other preaching programs. Book distribution itself is preaching, and it simultaneously prepares the way for other steps in the preaching strategy, especially the construction of Mayapur. Above all, book distribution pleases Srila Prabhupada, and pleasing Srila Prabhupada is the real basis of success. Those were the main points mentioned by book distributors when asked why book distribution is the best preaching. What follows are some of the statements of Srila Prabhupada and the book distributors. So here I stop. But another interesting point that also Govindadev Prabhu recently shared to this was the basis is really book distribution, so Sankirtan. This always needs to go on. Because this is the heart and soul of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, and it said we only can make true progress if we want to give it to others. If we want to stay in the Himalayas alone in a cave, and then we don't have so many realizations, and we can't practice tolerance and humility and all of this. But Sankirtan is the yagya, is the fire which burns these anarthas in our hearts very fast, and not only due to the cleansing by the service itself, but also because it's attracting so much mercy. Yeah, it was also interesting in a conversation this morning when Björn was asking Govindadev something, how to deal with this anarthas and how much importance, and then Govindadev said, yeah, it's good to witness and to be clear of what is going on, but it's not about analyzing everything in detail. The process is developing a higher taste. And just by developing this higher taste, these other things will be vanquished anyway after some time. Yeah, so just by the process of Harinam Sankirtan, by Harinam or by book distribution or prasadam distribution, we can experience a great, huge higher taste, yeah, because we can witness ourselves as an instrument in the hands of Lord Chaitanya in this preaching mission. We can experience how we are used as a tool to connect with people who don't have this knowledge. We can experience the joy in the people's faces. This was also nice. This morning came Kishori Kund Mataji to me and was reflecting because of the happiness that the people are, because Priya Saki Mataji was also telling the story of Indradyumna Maharaj when this Mataji came, everyone is so happy here, yeah. And then Kishori Kund Mataji said, yeah, since you are making these photos, it's enthusing me a lot because you see the shining in the people's faces. They look so happy. Yeah, so this is a nectar which is not from this world. This is not a material pleasure that we can give the people. It's a transcendental pleasure that increases more and more the more we try to share it with the people. Mystery and a wonder. I just found a very nice verse. It's in the Adi Lila, Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila. Mukha kavitva karayan sabarasmarane pangu giri lange andadikataragana. Okay, a little bit weird, sorry. The translation is, by remembering the lotus feet of the Panchatattva, a dumb man can become a poet, a lame man can cross mountains, and a blind man can see the stars in the sky. And the Nectar of Book Distribution has also a comment to that. Yeah, from Gauri Devidasi, I wanted to read a commentary. It's in the chapter Qualities of a Book Distributor. One thing I learned was that even if you don't feel like it, if you feel sick and you just want to stay home and sleep, there were many times I felt like that for many years, I learned quickly that if I just approach people, if I could just bring myself to the point of starting to approach them, after a half hour or so, whatever it was that bothered me, whatever it was that hurt in my body would be gone. I remembered Prabhupada saying again and again that if you just do Sankirtan, it cures everything. I firmly believe that, and I can see how it works. But you have to do Sankirtan, and that means you have to give your heart and soul to doing it. You can't just do it mechanically. That's why book distribution is so wonderful, because it forces you to give everything you can. And the more you do it, the more you can give. You become more and more surrendered, more deeply aware of who you are and where you are at. Then you can give more and more to the conditioned souls, and then there's more love coming from you. And Krishna is able to use you and give you more cleverness. You can be much more quick-witted. The dullest stone can become the most brilliant poet and philosopher and joker. You can be a complete comic. Anything can happen on Sankirtan. It's amazing. Yeah, so this I found in this relation, and I find very inspiring. And this was the great desire of Lord Chaitanya, our Yuga avatar, our beloved Yuga avatar, which shows us the way back home. Yeah, and he said, I'm the only gardener here, but here are so many fruits. Yeah, you have to help me to distribute them. So now it's up to us, and book distribution is a very powerful method. But also our Guru Maharaj said, if you are still not attracted and you want to do other services in the temple, anyway, everything is preaching. So if you are part of this society, there's no way around of preaching. Everything is related to preaching. So just try it out, and you will see it's nectar. It's just it's a nectar ocean of ever increasing bliss. And in that connection, we have a Sankirtan Community Festival on the weekend at Saturday. So please use the opportunity where it's simple and easy to join, where everything is provided, and where you just have to jump in the car and be there and try it out. You can sing, you can distribute prasadam, you can distribute books, you can try to do it. Even trying is very nice. There is not necessarily a success in souls necessary. Just by doing so, you are uplifted and raised in consciousness, and there are so many blessings for you waiting. And there's also a very nice news. I just talked it out with Govinda Dev today, that on the 28th of August, we go to Munich, and there's Navina Nirada giving a stage program. He's a very well-known book distributor from Swiss. He distributed many years, and he's like an icon of ISKCON's book distribution in Sankirtan. And he will share a lot of realizations, and after this we will come back to Simhachalam. And there will be 2 days seminar with Navina Nirada Prabhu, a book distribution seminar, where we also go out on the street, maybe Linz or Passau. And get ready for that, be there. And Ananda Krishna Prabhu said, if you don't have the desire yet, you just pray for the desire. Yeah? And he used everything to increase his greed and his determination in that service, in the chanting. He chanted before the books, and he chanted to become empowered, that Krishna uses him as a tool. And this was something that he practically experienced. And all of you can go to him and squeeze him out, how this is done, how this is working. And we can practically see amongst devotees around us that it's possible to distribute 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, or even 108 books. It's just a decision that you really want it. And because Krishna is living in your heart, Krishna fulfills all your desires and even more spiritual desires. And when he sees you also want to preach, he will arrange so many situations where you read the right thing when you're doing your sadhana, when the right person sneaks around and tells you exactly what you need to hear to go to the next step, how to overcome your false ego, or giving you a next possibility to go on the street. I would end here to leave some space for comments or questions. Yeah, Mataji. Yeah. Big questions, very nice. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sure, very nice questions. Thank you so much. Yeah, so to the first question, it's always coming up, for sure also in the temple, because many devotees do wonderful services and everyone thinks, yeah, my service is the best. And that's nice. That's also very desirable. And this competition is also nice. But Srila Prabhupada said that book distribution is the basis. That this is really the most important activity. It's said everywhere, like there's also chapters in the book distribution, our most important activity. And it's not that because of the book distribution, we can let go of the other services. No, this is also not correct. Srila Prabhupada said, yes, book distribution is the most important, but we have to simultaneously go on the street and chant the Hare Krishna mantra, give the people Krishna Prasad, worship the deity in the temple. This has to go hand in hand. It's enriching one another. It's not that you do book distribution and the other things fall apart. But it operates on different levels from my realization, and also from what I heard from many devotees. For example, one devotee recently was here. He was part of a Harinam party going around, and he said he had a dream of Prabhupada, why this Harinam is so potent and nice. And he said, yeah, because people are so demonic out there, they don't want it, they don't want the mercy, they don't want God and all of that. But because they hear the holy name, this is counted as devotional service. Yeah, so it's whether they want it or not, by performing kirtana, they automatically get cleansed. And this is something which is not so when you distribute books, even when it's also said when the people see book distributors and you wear tilak or a sari and dhoti or whatsoever, then and they see you performing this, they also get cleansed. But the Harinam Sankirtan is the Yuga Dharma. It's really, really potent if they hear the holy name. You can't, that's another thing, I never saw someone joining from a Harinam, like it's most of the time so quick, you rush through the city and then you sing, but it has a great effect and it stays with the people. I meet so many people on the streets where I distribute books to, and they say, oh yeah, I remember you chanting in the city, it was so long ago, yeah, and it seems like they're missing it, and at the first time it's awkward for them, and they maybe their mind tells them, no, don't dance or don't look at them in a favorable way, but inside it's like, it makes them joyful because Krishna is happy and they have him in the heart. But ultimately, book distribution is the brihat mridanga, the bigger mridanga, because when the Harinam stops, the Harinam stopped. It doesn't continue. But if you print a book and the book is out there in the city, you never know which way the book goes, and it continuously preaching with what is inside. Yeah, and so many people can read it again and again and again and again, and don't even hear the holy name, but also can understand how the process is, can develop trust, can have association with Srila Prabhupada as a guru, and when they meet you distributing a book, it's a perfect yagya, because they have connection with Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Guru, Srila Prabhupada, you are the Sadhu, so in the best case, they can also connect with you and can come to the temple. For example, one Mataji today, she sent me a message on Instagram. I met her in Berlin and distributed books to her, and then she said, oh yeah, you have Instagram. And after some time, she probably got purified, she saw what I'm doing there, and now she wrote me, I want to come to Simhachalam. Yeah, and with Harinam, it's not like this. It's a different kind of preaching, purification going on. Yeah, this is a more personal way, because you're approaching the people and you're talking to them. And this also shapes your own character in a different way. And this is, now we come to your second question, because we all strive for pure devotional service. Yeah, so Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Nashochati Nakangshati Samasarveshu Bhutishu Mat Bhaktim Labate Param. So one who is thus transcendentally situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman. He never laments nor desires to have anything. He is equally disposed to every living entity. In that state he attains pure devotional service unto me. So this is where we want to go, yeah. Regardless the outer circumstances or the reactions of the people, the nastiness, or there's also another nice verse in the second chapter. Sukha dukhe same kritva labha labho jaya jayo tato yudhaya yuchyasva nevang papam avapsyasi. So do thou fight for the sake of fighting without considering loss or gain, victory, defeat, happiness or distress, for by so doing you will never incur sin. Yeah, so this is where we strive for. We want to get aloof this material attachments. Yeah, I want to be loved, I want to be appreciated, I want to be recognized, I want to be successful, I want to, all of that. If you will also realize if you continue with the service at the beginning, when you are successful, I made it, it was me, and wow, this is now going on forever. Now I know how it works, and you're complete in this direction. And when you lose, oh no, I can't do nothing, I'm a fool and all of this. But after some time, you practice, and then you learn. You have to learn. You are forced to. It's also said that book distribution is forced surrender. Yeah, because if you are not situated in transcendence, and if you don't try to satisfy Krishna and think of him and try to please him, you will always suffer in book distribution, because it's impossible to do it in a material way. Yeah, because all the material circumstances are horrible. Yeah, it's cold, it's hot, it's long, you have to stay, the books are heavy, the people are nasty. There's no reason why you should do this from a material point of view. But it teaches you very quick to make this connection with Krishna, to think of him, and try to do it for his pleasure. And then you make quick advancement, because Krishna is the purest, and when you are in contact with him, you also become pure. And then after some time, it's more easy, then you are more detached from the outcome. You're more attached from how the people react to you. Yeah, you are happy either way. You just try to give, as the Mataji described. Yeah, you learn how to give. Yeah, and giving is selfless. You don't expect, and if you don't expect, then what can go wrong? It's only dissatisfaction because you expect that you get valued or that something particularly happens. And the ironic thing is, if the more you are detached, the more successful you are. Yeah, then the people, what is this guy? Yeah, he's so special. Or that Mataji, she's still nice to me. What is it that she hires? Yeah, and most of the people would yell at me or would say something back. But this is something very desirable, because then you can stay happy in every condition, and this is ultimately what we are all striving for. Okay, I would end here. It's 18:29. Was it okay? Okay. Okay, dann haben wir noch 2 Minuten. Yeah, it's sometimes, you can convince them to take a book, and sometimes yes. It's depending on your eagerness, on your determination, on your cleverness. Yeah, you can also beg, oh please, like I often say also, I want to spread this, most of the people just suffer because of ignorance, and we want to spread this knowledge, and this book helped me so much personally. I also had depressions. I saw no sense in life. Please take one, you never know. And sometimes you can melt the hearts of the people, or you can say just give a donation, and when they give a great donation, you can anyway give them a book, and then they take it. Sometimes it's only their mind, because the mind is always indulged in sense gratification, and they don't want to spend it for spiritual purposes. But if they see that your motivation is pure, and if you're purely motivated, then then you can often convince people. Yeah, but and that's the magic of book distribution. This needs a continuous process where you have to work on your own shortcomings and anarthas and attachments to undesirable things, because Krishna will send the same situation again and again until it's so present in your seva that you have to face this doubt or this misunderstanding, to correct it, and then it's no problem. Then Krishna sends them not anymore, and then most of them take also books, and some you never know. It can be a lesson from Krishna in many ways, but you can just. It's sometimes good then to release the tense, that they get a little bit more relieved from this. Oh no, he wants to. I don't want it, and then you talk from a different angle and you try it again, and often it works. Sometimes not. Okay. Yeah. So Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Transcendental Book Distribution ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And also I prepared some very nice pictures. I hope the boys will put this stuff away, and everyone who was present at the lecture, he gets a very special Krishna picture as a present to enhance his attraction and attachment to Krishna. You can
Lord.